Now to our Health Watch. A Northern Virginia doctor helps a tennis player in Britain get back on his feet and back on the court. And Fox5, we did play a role in making that happen. We're very proud of that. Dr. Colin Haines of Virginia Spine Institute is here in studio. We have Dilhan joining us via Zoom from his home in London. Thank you for coming on, Dilhan. I want to start with you, doctor. Thanks for being here. Dilhan, take us back. I mean, you were the #1 ranked player in the UK when you were just 12 years old, on track to play professionally when you had back pain that essentially stopped you in your tracks. I'm curious to know, when did you know that you needed a doctor's attention, and how did you come to find Dr. Haines here all the way in the U.S.?
Yeah, so I've been playing tennis all my life at my dad's tennis academy with the goal of becoming a professional tennis player. And I developed this really bad back pain coupled with some nerve pain. Which ultimately led me to stop playing completely, because it just got to the point where within 5 minutes of playing, I couldn't even walk. Now, even though I stopped, it got worse to the point where within standing for 5 minutes, it was just so painful. Now, I researched all around the world to see if there was anyone who knew anything about Bertolotti Syndrome, and I couldn't find anything. I tried all forms of non-surgical treatment, and again, nothing was working. And that's when I found Dr. Haines via a clip on the internet. And he seemed to be the only one who knew about Bertolotti Syndrome.
Wow. I see your trophies, too, in the background. I was looking at all that you've done. But you also, I mean, you were your own best health advocate. You did the work, looked online, find the article that led you to Dr. Haines. Can you describe in deeper information here about the syndrome that he suffered from and why it commonly goes unaddressed?
Yeah, so Dilhan has something called Bertolotti Syndrome. And essentially what that is, it's a massively underdiagnosed condition. Actually relatively common, but a lot of people, physicians, are just not that knowledgeable about it. Essentially what it is, the bottom part of the spine called the sacrum and the low back called the lumbar spine. Normally there's a space between this area. You have these bones off to the side that typically there's a space, no rubbing and no pain. But Bertolotti syndrome is when someone's born with extra bone formed down here, kind of like where my pinky is. And if that bone rubs and grinds on itself, it can cause arthritic bone-on-bone pain, which is exactly what Dilhan had.
Gosh, and so what was the treatment plan moving forward?
The hardest part is actually for what I see patients who travel from around the world like Dilhan and locally, is that people aren't believed. They say, you know, I've got back pain, you're young, you're healthy, you should get better on your own, is what the common thing that physicians tell them. But the pain persists and persists. Diagnosing is critical. And then once we diagnose it, if all the non-surgical treatments haven't worked, like physical therapy hasn't worked, injections, regenerative medicine like stem cells, if those treatments haven't worked, treatment which we did for Dilhan was actually just remove that bone. It's not needed. It's not structural. It's not normal bone that the body designs to have. So if that bone is grinding, just remove the bone. It's been incredibly successful.
We see that with Dilhan. He's smiling as well. We see the proof on your face. Tell me about rehab, Dilhan, and how that worked out for you and what you've been up to. I mean, a little birdie said that you're back on the court, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, so I'm approaching my 1-year post-surgery date in August. And rehab, it was kind of a long process, to be honest. I had to start from the very beginning and work my way up very slowly. So that started with very basic exercises, and then translating that into about 5 minutes of tennis once a week, and then building up slowly to the point where I'm at now, where I'm playing 5 times a week, 2 hours a day, and playing at almost 100% intensity. And yes, I am back on court. I played my first tournament in France actually last week, which was just incredible, considering literally a year before I could hardly walk properly without pain. So that was honestly amazing.
An amazing recovery. We see the video of you back. There was a quick picture that we flashed here. Was that the two of you, or did you play a game?
Oh, we played a match, yeah. I went over to, it was a ton of fun. Dilhan's become a huge advocate and a huge inspiration. So we gave a talk together at King's College in London, and then after, he destroyed me on the tennis court. It was so fun.
I was going to ask who won. I mean, I figured Dilhan, but...
It wasn't close. It was an honor and just tremendous amount of fun for me just to be aced with 130-mile-per-hour serves coming in my face.
Well, Dilhan, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy that you two managed to meet each other through our article and that you're doing so well. So just keep shining both on and off the court. And, Doctor, thank you for all that you do and sharing this information.
Of course, you know, a common thing I'd like to wrap up with is being told that your back hurts and that's normal isn't true. Dig deeper. I think that's really what's been so profoundly impactful with Dilhan's future is he didn't take, I don't know where it's normal for an answer.
Absolutely.
Keep digging. Check it out.
Keep digging. Get a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion if necessary. Thanks, Dilhan. Keep playing.
Thank you for having me.